This is lesson 7 of Siao's Grammar for Biblical Hebrew, and this lesson concerns adjectives. This is a lesson with a lot of frames. I'm going to be moving along pretty rigorously. You'll want to be ready to hit your pause button to read forms out loud as I switch frames, so that you can try them on your own before listening to me say them. This would be the most profitable way for you to use this lesson, certainly on the first hearing. What is an adjective? It's a word that modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun. Words like beautiful, good, ugly, cute, dumb, fantastic, and so on. Words that describe a noun or a pronoun. In English, we can distinguish among uses of the adjective. One is what we call the attributive adjective, which in English we do it by putting it before the noun it modifies. A small child, a red book. It's important to notice that with these attributive adjectives, they do not by themselves create a full sentence or a complete clause. A small child, what? What about a small child? A small child does something, someone does something to a small child, we don't yet know. It's not a complete thought. A small child, a red book, this is the attributive use of the adjective. That is, we're just getting an attribute of the noun or the pronoun. In English, we also have a predicative adjective, which, just as the name implies, a predicate completes a sentence or a clause. It gives us a full sentence or a full clause when joined with the noun. And in English, we do this with a to be verb. An example will make this more clear. The child, or a child, is small. Whether the noun is definite or indefinite is not a matter of consequence here. You could just say, a child is small. A child is small is a complete sentence, a complete thought. That is, the adjective, with the help of this linking verb in English, is itself a predicate. It joins with the noun child to create a complete sentence. A child is small, or the child is small. A book is read, or the book is read. So in English, the predicative adjective, we only get it with the help of a to be verb. We're going to see that in Hebrew that is not the case. You can have perfectly good predicative adjectives without the help of a to be verb. But by other means, these will be perfectly distinguishable from the attributive use of the adjective. I would add that in English, as we'll also see in Hebrew, there's also a use of the adjective that is substantive. So we might say the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Using the rich and the poor, using adjectives more or less as nouns. We call it a substantive use of the adjective, and we will return to that idea later in the lesson. Let's collect up some Hebrew adjectives that we can use. We can see in this picture that one of these shirts is old, but the one on the left is new, chadash. So for example, in this clause, Shiru ladonai shir chadash. Sing to Yahweh a new song, shir chadash. Shir chadash, a new song. On analogy with English, we can see that this is an attributive use of the adjective chadash. Shem chadash, a new name. Lev chadash v'ruach chadasha. What's lev? It's a heart. Lev chadash, a new heart. V'ruach chodasha, you can see chodasha, this adjective now has a feminine ending to correspond to the feminine noun ruach, a new spirit. Hashamayim hachadashim v'haaretz hachadasha, a new heavens and a new earth. As this lesson progresses, you will see what we're doing with the adjective in these examples, for instance, inflecting it for gender and number so that it can correspond to the noun that it modifies. This owl, according to legend, has a certain quality. We consider owls to be wise, just like these men. Wise, chacham, and we also have the noun wisdom, chokmah. So melech chacham, what kind of king? A wise king. Melech chacham. Melech chacham, a wise king. What do you think? Bein chacham, a wise son. Lev chacham, a wise heart or mind. Ha'ish hechacham, a wise man. Ha'ish hechacham, the wise man. Again, we'll be seeing as we progress in this lesson how we have formed the construction ha'ish hechacham. Or, for that matter, isha chachama, a wise woman. Or unashim chachamim, wise men. This woman is holy. The normal form of the adjective, that is the default masculine singular form, kadosh, related to a noun that we know, kodesh, holiness. So, am kadosh ata, a wise people you are. Am kadosh ata. V'hayitem kadoshim ki kadosh ani. And you shall be kadoshim because I am kadosh. Tzaddik is an adjective that means to be righteous or vindicated, related to the nouns tzedakah and tzedek, which mean righteousness. Noach ish tzaddik. Noah was a tzaddik man. Pi tzaddik yanuv chokhmah. Pi tzaddik, the mouth of a tzaddik, brings forth chokhmah. This person on the right is gadol. This person on the left is katon. Katon. Gadol. Katon. Asita im David avi chesed gadol. You have shown to David my father chesed gadol, Gadol is the kind of chesed that you have shown to David my father. V'e'eska legoy gadol, and I will make of you a goy gadol. Gadol is the kind of goy that I will make of you. This gentleman is quite old. He is zakein. Zakein. This man is quite chazak. Chazak. Very strong. Tov. Ra. The dinner on the right is Tov. The dinner on the left is Ra. We know, because he's in the magazine Handsome People, that this fellow is Yafeh. Yafeh. Note the segol hey. His feminine counterpart is Yafa. Yafa. These items of jewelry and this coin, pricey. They are yakar. Very precious. Yakar. Very dear. This level, which may be used as a straight edge, or this straight arrow, are both yashar. Yashar. You don't want this to land on you. It is kaved. Kaved. If you leave two rabbits alone, then before long they will be Rav. They will no longer be few. They will be Rav. You don't want to meet this guy in a dark alley. He is Ra. Lo tov hu. Lo tov hu Ra. This poor fella needs more than that pea to eat. He is Ra'av. Ra'av. This fellow is not tzaddik at all. Lo tzaddik. Hu lo tzaddik. Hu rasha. Rasha. He Rosha'ah, if appearance is any indication. He Rosha'ah. Let's remember how we took nouns and inflected them for gender or number. So stallion is sus. So stallions, susim. Mare, susa, mares, susot. Sus, susim, susa, susot. And of course we've learned that with a number of words, there are some changes in vowels as a result of the change in stress when the suffixes, if any, are added. So this is our paradigm. This is exactly how we will inflect adjectives for number and gender. So we've seen nouns like navi, prophet, but prophetess, nevi'im, with pro-Prutonic reduction, nevi'ah, prophetess, nevi'im, prophets, nevi'ot, prophetesses. Similarly with propretonic reduction, but with vocal composite shva, wise woman, chachama, wise ones, men, chachamim, wise ones, women, chachamot. So the adjective is inflected the same way as the noun. People. This is a geminate noun, and the gemination shows when it's plural. Amim. Similarly with sar, we expect the gemination to show when plural, but remember that when we cannot put a dagesh in a resh, we get compensatory lengthening. Sarah, princess. Think of Abraham's wife, Sarah. Sarah, princess. Sarim, princes. Sarot, princesses. So the inflection is simple with the suffixes, and sometimes some housekeeping to take care of in the words to which we add those suffixes. Ro'eh is a third hey root. Ro'eh is a masculine singular noun meaning shepherd. When we add the suffix, we take off the segol hey before we add the suffix. So shepherds, ro'im. So it is with adjectives. Adjective gadol, but if the adjective describes a feminine singular noun, then gadol becomes gadolah with propretonic reduction. Or gadolim for masculine plural, gadolot, feminine plural. So if these were books, right? Sefer gadol, big book. Or masculine plural, sefarim gadolim, big books. Or if feminine, let's say lands, eretz, land. Eretz gadolah, big land. Eratzot gadolot, big lands. So with zakein, if feminine singular, zukena, propretonic reduction. Zukenim, and feminine plural, zukenot. Chadash means new. Feminine singular, chadasha. Again, propretonic reduction to shva. In this case, a vocal shva because of a composite shva because of the guttural. Masculine plural, chadashim. Feminine plural, chadashot. No surprises here. Ra. What will this be? Well, the root is geminate. We can't double the gemination. We can't double the gemination. We can't double the guttural to show the gemination, so we have compensatory lengthening under the resh. Ra'ah, feminine singular. Ra'im, to describe harmful or bad, some masculine plural set of things. Bad books, sefarim ra'im. Or ra'ot, for something feminine plural like lands. Oratzot ra'ot, bad lands. Yafeh, handsome or pretty. Feminine singular. Yafa, we take off the hey of the root before we add suffixes, as with yafa, yafim, or yafot. Let's consider the form a man, or the attributive adjective form a good man. In both cases, the noun man is indefinite. Or we could have the woman and the good woman. In this case, we're taking the attributive noun and applying it to a definite. We're taking the attributive adjective and applying it to a definite noun. We're going to be doing the same thing in Hebrew, so we need to figure out how. As in English, the adjective itself may function as a noun, especially when simply talking about people. So we don't necessarily have to say the good people. We can just say the good. Or the bad people, we can just say the bad. The ugly people, we can say the ugly people. Robin Hood stole from the rich people and gave to the poor people. But we just say that Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. In Hebrew, too, the adjective may be used substantively. Gadol, that is big or great, could mean a great one. Gadol, a great one. That is, it could be used as an indefinite noun, so to say. It's still an adjective, but it acts as a noun. That is, it acts substantively, and it's indefinite. Or we could add the definite article, now with a strong dagesh, of course, in the gimel, Hagadol, the great one. A substantive adjective that is definite. I'm going to break here, and we're going to go on to say how we can talk about indefinite and definite nouns as having adjectives. In this case, as you can see, Melech Gadol, a great king. We will go on to talk about the great king, and so on, in the second part of Lesson 7.